Imagine you're hungry. You want bread and all you have is a cow. Simple enough. Go find the bread guy. Trade him the cow for the bread. Except the bread guy doesn't want a cow. He wants fish. So now you need to find the fish guy. Trade your cow for fish. Then trade the fish for bread. Except the fish guy wants shoes and the shoe guy wants wood. You're back where you started. You still have the cow. You are still hungry. This was the global economy for most of human history. For thousands of years, humans traded by barter. You have something I want. I have something you want. We swap. Simple. Except it was absolutely not simple. Barter has one catastrophic flaw that economists call the double coincidence of wants, which is a fancy academic way of saying both people need to want exactly what the other person has at exactly the same time in exactly the same place. The odds of this happening consistently were approximately terrible. So humans started looking for something, anything that everyone would accept in exchange for everything. And for thousands of years, the answer was livestock, specifically cows. The word cattle and the word capital come from the same Latin root. Pecuniary, meaning related to money, comes from pecus, Latin for cattle. For a significant portion of human history, cows were money. This had some logistical challenges. Eventually, humans figured out that cows were inconvenient currency. They were large, they made noise, they occasionally escaped, so they started looking for something smaller, more portable, universally desirable. The cowrie shell. They were small, durable, couldn't be faked, pretty enough that everyone wanted one. Cowrie shells were used as currency across China, India, Africa, and parts of Europe for thousands of years. In fact, cowrie shells were used as currency in parts of Africa as recently as the 20th century. But shells had a problem. If you lived near the coast, you could just pick them up off the beach. Congratulations, you just counterfeited the entire economy. So humans upgraded again, this time to metal. Around 600 BC in the kingdom of Lydia, modern-day Turkey, humans made their greatest monetary innovation so far, the coin. Stamped with an official mark, guaranteed weight, government-backed. For the first time in history, money had an authority behind it. It was brilliant, it was elegant, it worked perfectly. Until the government realized they could just make the coins smaller and keep the leftover gold for themselves. And so began humanity's longest-running tradition, governments quietly stealing from their own economies. By 700 AD, China had a problem. Their economy was enormous, their coins were heavy. Merchants traveling the Silk Road couldn't carry enough coins to do business. It was physically impossible. So the Tang dynasty came up with something radical. Paper money. Not actual money, just a piece of paper that represented money stored somewhere safe. You deposit your coins with a trusted merchant. He gives you a paper receipt. You trade the receipt instead of the coins. When you're done, you exchange the receipt back for coins. It worked beautifully for a while. Then the government noticed something interesting. They could print more paper than they had coins. Who was going to check? By the time of the Yuan dynasty, China had printed so much paper money that it was essentially worthless. Merchants refused to accept it. The economy collapsed. China had invented inflation, entirely by accident. And every government in history has made the exact same mistake since. Meanwhile, in Europe, a family called the Medici were revolutionizing money in ways that still affect your life today. The Medici were bankers, but not like any bankers that had existed before. They invented the letter of credit. Instead of physically moving gold across dangerous roads, you deposited money in Florence, received a letter, traveled safely to wherever you were going, and exchanged the letter for local currency at a Medici branch. No gold, no robbers, no problem. They also invented something even more consequential, lending money at interest. The church had banned charging interest for centuries, calling it sinful. The Medici simply called it a fee for services instead. And just like that, modern banking was born. Through a technicality, some things never change. Fast forward to 1971. President Nixon goes on television and announces something that should have caused worldwide panic but mostly went unnoticed. He's taking the US dollar off the gold standard. For most of monetary history, paper money was backed by something real. Gold, silver, something physical sitting in a vault somewhere that gave the paper its value. Nixon said, "We're done with that." From this moment forward, the US dollar is backed by exactly nothing except the collective agreement of humanity that it has value. It is, in the most literal sense, worthless paper that we've all agreed to pretend is valuable. And it works, completely. The entire global economy runs on this shared hallucination. Every transaction you've ever made, every salary you've ever earned, everything you've ever bought, backed by nothing but vibes. Money was always a story we told each other. We just stopped pretending otherwise in 1971. So there you have it, money. Invented because cows were inconvenient. Upgraded from shells to metal when people started cheating. Turned into paper by China, who immediately printed too much. Perfected by Italian bankers through a technicality. And finally revealed to be a collective hallucination by Richard Nixon in 1971. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please subscribe.